Hello and welcome to Create with Lindy today. This week on Get Your Play Online is actually Storybook Week. So I thought we would do something with pirates and princesses because some of my favorite storybooks have pirates and princesses in them. So we are going to be making a pirate sword and a princess wand. And then they're super fun to create, and then you can play with them afterwards, but they're not just something fun to make and play with. They can actually be used as reading pointers after you finish creating them. So when we're done with the activity, I'll show you how you can use it to help make reading even more fun and how it can help you while you're reading and even if you're learning your letters. So I'm going to show you what we need to make each of them. You can make just one of them or you can make both of them. It's totally your choice. So the first thing we're going to need for both of them is a craft stick or a popsicle stick. So I have a bag of these, and the craft sticks look kind of like this, but you can also use just a regular popsicle stick after you eat a popsicle. You can wash it off and use that. So that's both the princess wand and the pirate sword are going to need that. We're going to need glue for both of them. We are going to need markers. I've got a few different ones here. Markers, scissors, let's see, and then for the pirate sword, you're going to need some tin foil. So it comes in something that looks like this, probably in your kitchen pantry. And for the princess wand, we're going to be using anything that you would like to decorate it. So I have some stickers that look kind of like this and some kind of sequiny things. If you have any beads or something like that that you want to use, you could. You could also use glitter glue, or if you don't have glitter glue, then you can just use the glue we're already using and add your own glitter. So we're going to go ahead and start with the princess wand. So the first step is that we are going to actually cut out the star that goes on the top. So, oh, I forgot one more thing we need for both is actually a paper plate, just like this. So we're going to take our paper plate and one of the markers, and I'm going to create a star. You could make a heart or a circle or anything else that you want to be at the top of your princess wand, but I'm going to make a star. So I'll show you how I make my stars. And so what I start with is kind of like a triangle that doesn't have a bottom. So let's see if I can do this very well, doing it into the camera. So it's kind of like, it's hard to do, a triangle, and you just leave the bottom unclosed. And then I'm going to make another one where at this point I'm going to make another one. So it's going to go out, triangle that's unclosed. And then we're going to connect this one, triangle with no bottom. We're going to make two more for the last two star points. So touch right there, close, and last one, triangle, and we're going to make that line connect with the last point on the star. There we go. So there's my star that I'm going to use, and then we're going to take our scissors and we're going to go ahead and cut that. So make sure that you're using either your safety scissors or that you have your parents' permission to use regular scissors. So we're going to go ahead and cut out our star. So, or unless if you're not using a star shape, let me know. I would love to hear what kind of shape you guys are using instead. So we're going to cut all along the lines. Turn the paper so the scissors lines up right with that line, and make small cuts so we can be as close to the line as possible. And I'm going to just cut off the excess because that makes it a little bit easier, the extra piece that we don't need. And then I'm going to put my scissors right on the mark where the line is at the point and small cut. And then when I get to the edge, I'm going to turn the plate and cut. And again, I'm going to cut off that extra just to make it easier. Okay, so then line up my scissors on the mark again. Cut straight on the line as best I can, but if you're not perfectly on the line, that's okay. And then I'm going to turn the plate again. Cut on the line. Turn the plate. And snip, snip, snip. I really do think it's easier if you cut some of this extra part that you're not using off. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for the last point. So we're going to line up our scissors at the part that's not cut, right on the edge, and snip right to the part that is already cut. And then we're going to rip off the end, and we have our star shape. And I'm going to use it backwards when I put mine on so that we can't see the black edges, because I don't want mine to be black, but if you want yours to show the edge, you can. So I'm going to put that aside for right now. And the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take our popsicle stick, that's the bottom of our wand, and we're going to go ahead and kind of decorate it however we would like to decorate it. I am going to actually use another one of these paper plates just so that I make sure that I don't color on my table. So I'm going to choose just a very light purple because I'm going to be adding some extra things to mine, but you can choose any kind of color you want. You could even paint it if you wanted to. So I'm going to just do a light color all over the bottom of my wand. If you wanted to actually draw on your popsicle stick or craft stick, you could do that too if you wanted to draw shapes. I think my marker is running out of color. Might needed to get a new set soon. See if we can make it work, or if we have to switch to another one. Press down a little harder. Okay, well, hopefully you can tell that it's got kind of a shade of purple to it now. So the next step is to decorate it however you would like to decorate it. So I've decided that I would like to put my stickers on mine. I think I'm going to put some of my little silver sequins, and I'm going to put my glitter glue. My glitter glue is kind of like shimmery. You can't see it that well till after it dries, but it adds a cool little sparkle to it. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to pick out however many of these that I would like. I think I'm going to do even more today than I did last time. I'm going to do all the different colors. So I'm going to put a pink one. So remember, if you don't have any stickers or anything like that to decorate yours, you can always draw whatever shapes that you would like on yours. So I am putting a yellow, orange, this is kind of a darker orangey pink, and purple, and dark purpley blue, and then I'm going to pick the regular blue color, and green, light green, there, and we're going to go back to our pink, and yellow. Just push it onto the popsicle stick. If for some reason your stickers don't stick very well to the wooden stick, you can always add a little bit of a glue stick on it and just press that down to help it make sure it stays. And let's see, last I'm going to use this pinky orange color. Okay, so that's what mine looks like once I've decorated it with my stickers. And then I'm gonna add these cool little sequiny guys. Like they kind of look like that. I've got different sizes. So I'm going to use my glue. My glue is actually like tacky glue, craft glue. It should work with any different type of glue. I'm mainly using this. If you're using a bead or something like that, it might take a little while to dry with regular glue. So that's why I've got my tacky glue. Sometimes it helps kind of crafty things stick together better. So I'm going to take my glue and I'm going to put just a little tiny bit on the back of it, on the flat part, just a little bit, and then I'm going to put it anywhere that I want on my wand. Let's see, a little bit of glue, and push it down. Do a little one, a little bit of glue. These are hard to hold. And push it down. Got that on the wrong side. It's a little bit easier to do it on the, if you have something that's kind of a curved shape, to put it on the bottom part. It'll stick better. Okay, and I'm going to do a couple more of these big ones. Take a big one, put your glue, and put that one right here. And one more, I think. Push it in. All right, and now I'm going to go ahead and take my glitter glue and add a little bit to that. And remember, if you don't have glitter glue, but you kind of want it to have a little bit of glittery sparkle, you can always put glue down just like I am, and then sprinkle your glitter on afterwards. And I'll show you how we can do that when we make the top of our wand. So we're going to open it. I'm going to make sure I put the cap back on my regular glue just so it doesn't spill. And open my glitter glue, and I'm just going to squeeze it out anywhere I want. I'm going to kind of make squigglies around my stickers because I think it looks, I don't know how well you can see it on the camera, but once it dries, can you see kind of how it has that a little bit of a shimmer to it afterwards? So I'm going to take it, and I'm just going to make my squigglies. Let's see if I can show you better. So I'm going to start at one end and squeeze just a little bit. I don't want too much. And I'm just going to make kind of squiggly lines. So you can see that. If you had puff paint, you might even make like some dots out of puff paint. Could be cool. All right, so you can't see it that well since it's not dried, but it'll have a nice little shimmer to it afterwards. Okay, and so our next part is we are going to make the top of our star, or whatever shape you made, the top of your wand. Mine looks like that, the one that I made beforehand. So we're going to take the star that we already cut out, and remember, if you want your edges to show, you can make that the front. I don't want my black edges, the part that I used before I cut out, to show because I'm going to make it a different color. So I'm just going to flip it over to the back side. So I'm going to be doing, I'm going to do bright pink for mine. And you can choose any color you'd like. And I'm going to put it on one of my extra paper plates just so that I make sure that I don't color on the table when I'm doing this because I want to color all the way. all over the star. So I am going to start by outlining my star. I think that makes it easier when I'm trying to color something in. So I'm going to go along the edges with my marker and outline it, especially something that's the same color as something that you're coloring on, then we can kind of see it better. This is good practice drawing stars. Okay. Hopefully this marker doesn't start to run out of color too. All right. Let's see. I've got one more point left to outline. See if I have another one in case this runs out of color. I don't think so. Okay, so one more. So there's mine outlined. I'm going to go ahead and color this in, even though I'm kind of losing the color in my marker. But that's okay because I'm going to be putting glitter and glue over top of mine. So I just kind of want the underneath to be kind of pinkish. So I'm just going to make big coloring strokes back and forth. Okay, so there's mine with my marker that's losing its color. All right, and next, I'm going to show you how you can either use glitter glue or glitter and glue to make your shiny. You could also just leave it the color that you colored it if you don't want to do anything else to it. You could draw other things on it with your markers if you wanted to, or you could even add some of your stickers that you used on the wands on the bottom of the wand. You could add anything that you used to decorate that onto your star if you wanted to. But I'm going to use my glitter glue and then show you how, if you don't have glitter glue, how you can put glitter on top of it. So since my marker sort of ran out of color, I'm going to go ahead and put it all over mine. So I'm going to just kind of spread it around almost like I'm coloring on it. Just make lines up and down. So you can do this with your glue or your glitter glue. So anywhere you want the glitter to stick or you want your glitter glue to show up. Or you could even use puff paint on this also. That would be pretty cool. Okay, so now I'm going to take my glitter, and I chose pink. And you definitely want to do this over your paper plate because we'll have, once we kind of pick it up and shake it off, a lot of the extra glitter that doesn't stick to the glue is going to come off. And we want to all to be in this plate so it's a lot easier to clean up. So I'm going to open the top of my glitter. And I'm just going to sprinkle the glitter on. You can put as much or as little as you want to have on your princess wand. I think I want a lot. Okay, and close that so it doesn't spill. And then the next step is that we're going to pick up our star and we're going to shake it out so any of the extra glitter comes off. Shake, 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 shake. There it goes. There is my star with the glitter glue and glitter. Okay, so our next step is that we are going to attach our top of our wand and the bottom of our wand. So to do that, we're going to put some glue. I like to put the glue on the bottom on the craft stick instead of on the back of the paper. So I'm going to pick whichever side you want to be the top. I'm going to choose this side because I have a little bit of empty space. So I'm going to open my glue again. And I'm just going to go ahead and squeeze a few drops onto the top part. there's my glue. And then your next choice is going to be how you want your star to be positioned, how you want it to be placed on the bottom of the wand. So do you want this to be the top part of it, or this part, or this part? So you're going to decide which one you want to be the top point of your star. So let me see. I think I'm going to have this point be the top of my star. So that means I'm going to want to put the popsicle stick with the glue on the bottom. So I want this to be the top, so that's going to be the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and take my craft stick and put that at the very bottom, so right about there. Okay, so I'm going to put it down so I can make it flat. And I'm just going to press it on. And if you put a lot of glue on your star that you cut out, it might sort of bend a little bit. See how my star is sort of not flat now because of all the weight of the glue. So what you might have to do to get it to stick really well is you might want to put something right there on top of it. So you could put like your bottle of glue or something right there just to help it stay down until it dries. So that is how you make your princess wand. See, mine needs to have something to help it stick for a little while it dries. So that is your princess wand. And next we're going to go ahead and make your pirate sword so that I can show you how you can use them as reading pointers. So I'm going to go ahead and put this down and let it dry. Remember, it'll look something like that when it's done drying. All right, so I'm going to put that away and get out a new paper plate. And I need another popsicle stick. So I've got my pack, but remember you can use just a regular old popsicle stick and clean it off. And I'm going to use, so here's what mine looked like that I made ahead of time. So if you want yours to look just like this, you can use a black marker, but if you want it to be more colorful, you can choose any color you want that for the bottom for your popsicle stick and the little cross that we're going to make out, the little rectangle that we're going to make out of our paper plate again. So the first step is, and we're going to need our tin foil. So you can go ahead and get that from the kitchen. And this one's a little bit quicker. You can always add extra stuff to it if you'd like, though. So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to make a black line on our stick, or with whatever color, about a quarter of the way down the stick. So that means if we broke something up into 4 pieces, and this doesn't have to be exact, but just about if we broke something up into 4 pieces, a quarter would be one of those pieces. So let's say this is one. I'm going to say that's about a quarter. Or you could make yours a half if you wanted. It's totally up to you. So that's about, or maybe it's more like a third. Okay, so that's about where I'm making my line. And then we're going to go ahead and color that in with any color you'd like. And again, I'm doing this over my paper plate so that just in case when I'm making my coloring strokes with my hand, if I slide off, it doesn't get on the table, even though most markers are washable. Color it in and make it as dark of color as you want. I'm trying to make none of the popsicle sticks show through, so I'm going over it a few times. Make sure to get all the little edges. Okay, so that's what it looks like when we've colored in that part. The next part that we're going to do is we're going to make this little rectangle piece right here that goes across the popsicle stick. So we're going to use our paper plate to make that. A little trick that I have to make my line straight is that I use another one of my popsicle sticks to help me make a straight line. So I am going to, and you can make this kind of whatever size you'd like. Mine is thinner than my popsicle stick. You can even put your popsicle stick on the plate so that you can kind of measure about how wide you want and how thick you'd like it to be. So I'm going to use a blank popsicle stick to kind of help me make my straight line. So I'm going to, so hopefully you can see this. Make a line about that big. And then I'm going to go down. Like I said, I'm going to make mine thinner than my popsicle stick is. So right about there. I'm going to make a second line. So that's what it looks like so far. And then I'm going to connect the edges of my two lines right here and right there. So you can even use your popsicle stick again for that if you want. Okay, it says it's having trouble playing this video, so hopefully you guys can still see me. Check my internet, see if that's the issue. Okay, well, hopefully you guys can still see me. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and color that rectangle in. Okay, so I'm coloring my rectangle in. And then the next step is that we are going to cut out our rectangle out of the paper plate. And I'm just gonna check on my phone to see if it looks like this video is coming up, since it says that they're having trouble playing it and I can't see myself. So I just want to double check that you guys can still see me. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut out my rectangle. cutting out all 4 sides of my rectangle. Okay. And my next step is that I am going to actually put that aside, and we're going to, well, actually, we'll go ahead and glue that one. So I'm going to put my popsicle stick on top of the paper plate just so any mess from the glue doesn't get on the table. And I'm going to go ahead and glue my cut out rectangle onto my popsicle stick right about at the line that we drew before with our marker. So I'm going to put the glue right about on that line. And I'm going to press down my rectangle. All right, and now the last step that we have is to put on our tin foil. So I'm going to go ahead and take out a piece of tin foil that's, we want a couple inches. So I'm going to pull it out, and I'm going to rip it off. So just be really careful since it has those teeth on it that help it get ripped, but we want to make sure that we don't cut ourselves. So we're going to rip that out. And I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of glue on the back of the popsicle stick on the part that we did not color. So we're going to go ahead and put the glue there. And I'm going to press my popsicle stick onto the edge of the tin foil that I cut out or that I ripped off. So I'm going to press it down and go ahead and wrap it around. And you can wrap it around just once if you want, or you can wrap it around as many times as you like. I like to wrap it around a few times because it gives it sort of that wrinkly look that I have in this one that I made ahead of time. I'm going to wrap it around a few times until I am out. Of my tin foil. So once I've all the way wrapped it around, I'm going to take that last little edge and I'm going to put some glue on it and push it down into the part that we already wrapped around. So I'm going to add a little bit of glue and go ahead and push that onto the popsicle stick that already has the tin foil. And our very last step with this one is that we're going to go ahead and cut all this excess, which means extra, all of that, we're going to go ahead and cut that off. So I'm going to cut right around my popsicle stick, like that. And if you wanted to, if yours is sort of, if you wanted to get all those little edges together, you could always add a little bit of glue there. And there we go. We've completed our pirate sword reading pointer. So let me go ahead and show you how you can use those as a reading pointer. So hopefully you can see this well. I'm not able to see myself, but I think that you guys can still see me. So, all right. So what you can do to use this as a reading pointer is that you can either, if you're learning your letters, you can take your pirate stick, your pirate sword, or your princess wand, and you can go ahead and point out to the letters and say them. So you can point out any letter, P or E, or if you're beginning to read, you can use it to help you track the words. So you can point it to the word that you're using, that you're going to read. So this book is called Eleanor, Wyatt, Princess, and Pirate. And one other way you could do it is if you're reading kind of longer books, you could use it to help keep track of the line that you're on. So Eleanor, Wyatt, Princess, and Pirate. So we'll go ahead and read this story about princesses and pirates I'm not going to use my reading pointer for this just because I'm going to be holding the book open for you and it's a little tough to do that, but I would love to see pictures of you guys' pirate swords and your princess wands once you've made them. So make sure you tag us, and you can even put them in the comments. That would be great. I would really, really love to see what you've done. And maybe if you've read any books with them afterwards, let me know which ones you use the reading pointers on. So Eleanor Wyatt, Princess and Pirate. So this one has a princess and a pirate, and we just made something for both the princess and the pirate. My name is Eleanor Wyatt. Some days I'm a princess, some days I'm a pirate. There she is. She's dressed up as a princess, but she's looking in the mirror, and what does she see? She sees herself as a pirate. I live in a castle in the best land. So let's see, there she is as a princess again. She's got her castle. Do you see anything else in the picture? Oh, I notice a pet dog. It's also a fort for my swashbuckling band. So there she is, and she looks like she's got some pirate treasure. Oh, and I notice her doggy again. Very cool. I have 15 teapots for serving my tea. Wow, that's a lot of teapots. It does look like she has a lot of teapots there, huh? And I don't spill a drop when I sail the high seas. There she is. She's sailing the high seas as a pirate. She's got her faithful pet dog with her again. I like this little mouse in the corner. He's got a teacup drinking his tea. Looks like he's dressed as a pirate too. I can sword fight the scariest bad guys in town. Oh my goodness. Wow, look at all the bad guys she's fighting. There's a little mini Tinkerbell. And her doggy's got a princess hat crown on. Then I twirl to the ball in my finest ball gown. There she is at the ball. Oh, how funny, they have a robot at the ball with the top hat on. My high heels can sparkle in the warm summer sun, but I kick them off when I'm ready to run. She's got those red sparkly shoes. Can you think of anything from a movie? Anybody that wears those red sparkly shoes? And her playground looks like it's a princess castle. I must wear my crown when I go to the park. There's the crown. Then I switch to my cape when it starts to get dark. Now she's a superhero. Which superhero do you think Eleanor would be? I'll scooch this back to make sure you can see a little better. My mom says I don't have to play just one way. My dad says there's no right or wrong way to play. Oh, it looks like their whole family is playing rock band. And even the dog's got an instrument. Very cool. So there's her dad. Looks like he's got on an airplane. And her doggy's got on some flying glasses. So she's pretending she's flying with her dog. I wonder what Eleanor's gonna do next. My tutus are fluffy and twirly and pink. My ninja G's blacker than the blackest black ink. So they look like, what emotion do you think they're feeling right now? They look like they're a little bit scared of the movie they're watching. What movie do you think that they're watching? Oh, and this is really funny. Look, the doggy has the remote in his mouth. My dog's done that before when she was a puppy. I'm awaiting my prince while trapped in my tower. She's in her tower, and there's the princess or the princes lining up to wait for her, and her dog is dressed like a dragon. Then I'm saving the world with my superpower. What super power do you think she has? My friends and I like to play different ways. We're cowboys and monsters and fairies with wings. Let your inner light shine and be who you are. Let your friends do the same and you'll shine like a star. Wow, look at all the cool ways that her and her friends dressed up. See an artist, caterpillar, scientist. What else do you see? Which one would you most like to play dress up as? I think I would like to play dress up as the astronaut. That would be fun. My dad tucks my dolls all cozy in bed. Mom puts my monster mask snug on my head. I can be anything that I want to be. I'm a princess, a pirate, and I'm also just me. So here she is dressed up as all the things, anything she wants to be. So she can play any of these things. Pirates and princesses, like we talked about, skateboarders, cowboys, but also she's just her. So she's wearing her normal clothes. She's got a great book next to her and she's snuggled up to her doggie. The end. So I hope you really liked making our princess sword or princess wand and pirate sword reading pointers, and I hope you're gonna have lots of fun reading some new books with these. And like I said, I would love to see what you've created, so make sure that you tag us, tag Get Your Play Online, and show us your creations, or you can put in the comments down below on this video. You can show us, you can put a picture of what you've made, and make sure that you stick around for Mackenzie at 1 o'clock, okay? All right, I'll see you guys next week. Bye.